back to this idea of destruction to gain freedom, we can see other clear examples in the Krypton sequence of Man of Steel. The first clear one is Zod entering the council by explosion. Breaking free, in this case, is free to enter, so he's breaking and entering, right? So you can enter a place by breaking the doorway down. Similar thing happens in Zack Snyder's Justice League when Batman is using explosives to break through what is essentially a womb. It's an enclosure, is a womb. There's a womb there as well, right? So he's breaking the doorway of the womb to then enter. Zod also speaks of disbanding the council. Disbanding, that means taking apart. Things are bound together like the fasces, right? The bands together. That's what the fasces represent. Things bound together. Disbanded is now they're not together, right? So in the context of the fasces, that's very clear. It's like you have all of these sticks tied together as a symbol of strength. You disband those. Well, now it's destroyed and has no more strength. And so he speaks of severing the degenerative bloodlines that we talked about, so he can begin anew for Krypton. Another example is Jor El breaking free from the constraints of Zod's men, leaving into the exposed world of destruction. Right? So he uses destruction, fights off the enemies. Ironically, again, this is like another bit of irony here, is that he was momentarily saying, you've taken up the sword against your own people to Zod, but now he is in a position where he is forced to take up the sword against his own people, right? So it's interesting. He sort of passed through into this realm where now he's had to break a bit of his rules, and then he continues to break rules later on, right? When he enters into this exposed world of destruction, his world is coming apart, and so he is now freed to steal the codex. Right? He is free to break that rule. So there's another breaking. Nobody cares anymore, right? When there's destruction, nobody cares anymore. And so you're free to act. This is an important idea. Destruction, in the breaking of something, there is freedom. Again, we're coming back to that. In the breaking of something, there is freedom to break even more things, right? Break rules, right? So the destruction is precisely that which allows him to shed the demands and expectations of society, breaking the rules. As he says, nobody cares anymore, Kelex. The world is coming to an end. You see, when the world is destroyed and collapses, there is freedom to act and do what you couldn't in the paradigm of that world. Right? So other instances of breaking free is the severing of the loop around Kal-El's ship. This is like an opening of a doorway, the confining loop that the ship is allowed to pass through. Again, it was the destruction of Zod's men that freed Kal-El. Visually, we see the story. The destruction of Krypton allows for the birth or freedom of Kal-El. When Superman kills Zod, he breaks his neck. This, again, is a breaking free from the confines of an expected no-kill policy imposed by the audience, right? The audience sort of expects and imposes this limitation on Superman. And here he's breaking free from that expectation in the face of the destruction, the visible, fiery destruction occurring before him. So in that destruction, he is freed from this rule, right? The world is coming to an end. We see this motif, this visual motif of something opening like this. In the end, it's Superman's arms locking Zod in place, and then breaking Zod's neck is him breaking free from that rule. But this visual of opening up in this manner is also seen in Kal-El's ship when it is locked into place until Laura unlocks it by pushing a button. It opens up in the same manner, and he is free. Right? Kal-El, the ship is free. And so that's a doorway, is what I'm saying. That's like the yonic doorway, the circle, the loop, the confining loop, the womb, releasing through that doorway, frees that person for rebirth or ascent. We will come back to the no-kill rule again in the context of a much larger spiritual cosmic themes that Zach perfectly situated it in, that unambiguously justifies it for anyone with reasonable and open eyes, but that will be for another video. In the midst of fire and destruction, we have seen Jor El free to break rules. We've seen Superman free to break an imposed rule on him by the audience. And now in the midst of world-ending destruction, we see the Flash necessarily break his rule to go faster than the speed of light and reverse time. Throughout, we know Barry holds himself back. In fact, before this particular moment, he is running in loops, right? It is in the destruction that he no longer runs in loops, that he no longer holds back and is now free to unleash his full potential. Breaking the rule breaks that psychological doorway. Nobody cares anymore. Kilex, the world is coming to an end. The destruction of our world freed us, right? And so this is again this idea here. He then becomes a world creator, each step of which is supported upon a foundation of faith. Each step, after all, is a leap of faith. The foundation is formed in the act of taking the step, not before. So we must see the taking of the step forward as in itself supplying the platform or foundation necessary for his creative act. In other words, the choice to take the step comes first. The foundation is formed after that faith-based choice. It is intentionally portrayed this way, and we have seen a similar faith-based act resulting in the foundation forming only after the fact. Jor El initially hesitates from leaping from this platform, the Genesis Chamber platform. It was the destruction of the platform that freed him to take the leap of faith. The foundation comes after, when Haraka provides him that midair foundation. And so when the priest talks to Superman, that's another example where faith comes up. He's like, sometimes it takes a leap of faith first. The trust part comes later. So the foundation part comes later. Faith, of course, is shown in a number of ways. Another great example is Bruce Wayne saying, "Faith, Alfred, faith," when he speaks to Alfred about believing Superman would join them. It's not the words alone, but the visual of him that I find very interesting, where he subsequently walks on a platform above water. The ultimate biblical act of faith is walking on water, after all, in the midst of a storm. Here, Bruce is, in a symbolic sense, walking on water. In another video, I speak about walking on water in the Messiah Netflix show, and I speak of the reflection in the water as being thought of as the supporting foundation upon which we are able to take our steps. It is the support, trust, in our mirror or opposite in the other individuals or cosmic forces that captures the true spirit of walking on water. Being supported on the reflection below is seen here when Superman steps out of the scout ship. He is, in my view, I see this as he is walking on water, symbolically embodying faith, hope, and love for all of humanity, walking upon that foundation, that inverted image. The ultimate superhero, right, is a lover of all of humanity, right? So all of humanity is now seen as part of his family that he loves. Bruce is a man of faith in Zack Snyder's Justice League, not of the intellect reason anymore, right? This is what allows him to walk on the edge of a cold, slippery, icy mountain. That's why he's able to walk across these narrow-ridged mountains with all these cracks and crevices all throughout. He walks through unscathed because he is a man of faith in this case, right? He's walking on water, essentially. Impossible to the average man that succumbs to fear, like Peter to Jesus when he was walking on water. Peter was walking on water, but then he became afraid. He doubted, right?
Stormurinn hefur komið í veg fyrir allt flug síðustu 6 daga. Hvaðan kom hann? Hann gekk yfir fjallið. Það útilokað.
So remember that Peter wasn't the son of God or anything, and yet he was able to walk on water. What is the message in this? He had fear. He was able to walk on water until he succumbed to fear. What is the message in this? To me, it's respect the storm, but do not fear it. Walking on water is something we can all do. We need only free ourselves from the restraints of fear to do so.
Break into the brilliance of a zillion, where the sparkles fly, spiral to another world. You and I, you and I, you and I. So dear, so simple, so clear, there's no fear here. So dear, so simple, so clear, there's no fear here. So dear, so simple, so clear, there's no fear here. So dear, so simple, so clear, there's no fear here.